Sometimes I wonder if those people who gave their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor in 1776 would have done so if they could look forward to today and see how much of our independence we have given back to King George and King Barack and any of the people who think they are the kings. We don't have, and I hate to say this, but I believe it's absolutely true, we don't have as much independence today as the colonists did in 1776 because we've given it away. You can't be as dependent as we are on our government for everything that we want and need, from health care to retirement to a paycheck when we're not working, to subsidized housing and food. You can't be that dependent on your government and claim to be an independent nation and claim that you deserve to be a free nation. We have got to accept, we've got to take back, we've got to embrace, and we've got to take back our independence starting on this Independence Day. Before we can get any of it back, we've got to at least stop what is going on now, because if we accept the dependency on government that they're building for us now in Washington, D.C., I don't know if there's any turning back. I hope there is, and I'm going to keep working for it as long as I'm breathing. But our first order of business is to stop two things that represent even more dependence on government, and one is nationalized health care, or universal health care, or socialized medicine, or whatever you want to call it. We have got to stop that, and we've got to stop it starting here tonight. Yeah! Yes, we have a problem with the price of health care in this country. There's no question. We have a problem with health care prices. We have a problem with health insurance prices, but we have it for one specific reason. And what the President and his team in Washington have in mind would make it worse, not better. We have it because of the nature of what we call health insurance, which isn't health insurance at all. You don't take your car insurance card and go down to the gas station and fill up with your car insurance card and buy tires and buy batteries and your oil changes and do the regular maintenance with your car insurance. If you did, your car insurance would be $12,000 or $15,000 a year too. Of course, you wouldn't be able to afford that either. But that's what we expected. That's what most people expect to do with their health insurance card, and because of that, you've got the doctor and the patient deciding what to buy, and you've got a third party paying for it. How would that work out if you went to a restaurant? You go to a restaurant, you meet with the chef, you decide what you're going to have to eat, you give the bill to somebody else. You'd go quite often, wouldn't you? And you'd eat a lot, and it would cost a lot. That's what we're doing with health insurance, and they think the solution is to do it for more people and to have the government subsidize it. It's insane. It's dependence on the government. It's not independence. We can't celebrate that. We've got to stop that. Yeah. Something else we have to stop at this is this cap and trade bill. Yeah. I almost said it right, and there are children in the audience. I apologize for that. The Heritage Foundation was invited to come speak to the House committee that was considering cap and trade. You know, they went through the charade of actually giving this bill a hearing before they passed it without reading it. And the Heritage Foundation came to the committee and explained to the committee that all of the research that it had done, and nobody has been able to review, all of the costs of cap and trade, that it would rob $4.8 trillion from the economy. It would shrink the economy by $4.8 trillion over a 20-year period. It would cost the average American household an additional $1,800 a year. It would result in a net decrease in 3 million jobs over that same 20-year period. And then it got to the end of the Heritage Foundation got to the end of his testimony, and it said, and for what? Well, What is this economic damage going to do for us? How is it going to help the globe? We're supposed to be, supposedly this is supposed to keep the globe from warming. What is it going to do? And it quoted our own Environmental Protection Agency. It said the EPA, the United States EPA, certainly not a conservative organization, has concluded that if we do this drastic bill at this extreme cost and we reduce our carbon dioxide output by 60% by 2050, the EPA says the best we can do is reduce the global temperature by 0.1 to 0.2 degrees centigrade. That's it. That's the target we're aiming at. Only a fool would spend that much money and do that much damage to their economy for that kind of result. I'm a golfer. Are there any other golfers in the crowd?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what a golf handicap is, right? All right. I hate to say it, but I'm about a 16 handicap right now. And I decided to take golf lessons. And my golf instructor charged me $350 for 5 lessons. And I believe that after having done that, I am actually going to see a marked improvement in my golf game. So that was a relatively good investment, I hope. But this cap and trade bill and the promise represents something like this. It would mean that I would go to my golf coach and he would say, Ralph, I tell you what, if you will take lessons from me every day for the next 3 or 4 years or so, and you pay me $30,000 to $40,000, I can improve your golf handicap by 1/10 of 1 stroke. Does that sound like a pretty good deal? That's exactly what we're going to get out of this cap and trade. It's insane, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not about saving the earth. There's a completely different agenda at work here. It's multifaceted, and none of it is positive, and we've got to stop it. It represents giving away even more of our independence and becoming more and more dependent on the government for everything we want, everything we need, and every decision that we want to make. We can't do that. We have to stop it. Now, people, one final thing, and then I'll let you go, and I'll let somebody else, somebody important, speak to you. We've got to learn the difference between freedom and independence. Teach your children the difference. In fact, the children in the audience probably know as well as or better than their parents the difference between freedom and independence. Independence is what you have to accept if you want freedom. I don't know about you, but as a teenager, I wanted more and more freedom. I wanted to stay out later. I wanted to do more things. And my parents, being good parents, told me, as long as you're living in our house and we're paying the bills, we're paying for your food, we're paying for your clothing, we're paying for your transportation and your shelter and your heat and everything else, we're going to make the rules. And because we love you, we're going to let you do some things, but we're not going to let you do everything you want to, because that would frankly be too costly and too dangerous, and we can't afford it, and so therefore we're going to make the rules. I wasn't free because I wasn't independent. You cannot have freedom unless you accept independence. Independence is the price we pay for freedom. And if we don't take back our independence, if we don't embrace our independence, if we don't insist on independence, if we don't insist that the government let us take care of ourselves and keep the resources with which we can afford to take care of ourselves, we're not just going to give up our independence, we're going to give up our freedom, and you have no idea where that will end. And you don't want it, I guarantee you. Thank all of you for being here today. Embrace independence, work for it, fight for it, sacrifice for it. Tell everybody you know to do the same. If we don't win this fight now, it may be too late. It starts tonight. Are you ready to fight?